ഇനി നമുക്ക് അച്ഛൻ്റെ ഒരു കൂട്ടുകാരൻ്റെ സ്പീച്ച് കേൾക്കാം. കേസി കോശങ്ങളുടെ ശരി ഇതിനെക്കുറിച്ച് നമുക്ക് അറിയപ്പെടാത്ത പല രഹസ്യങ്ങളും നമുക്ക് അറിയാൻ പറ്റുമെന്ന് വിചാരിക്കുന്നു.
Respected Tirumeni and respected Achins and brothers and sisters in Christ. As Joseph Achin suggested, I'm not Columbus. There are many Columbuses ahead of me, including my brother. My oldest brother came to States in '65, and he should have been here because he was the original member of the church. But unfortunately, due to advanced age, he is 89, and health problems, he is not here. Anyway, I'm not a member of this congregation, and I looked around, I recognized very few faces. So some of you must be wondering, what am I doing here? That's what I am going to tell you. My family and Achin's family, Govechin's family, knew each other more than 50 years back. 50 years is more than half of a lifetime. I recently turned 80. So, now that is from the days in Africa. Middle of 70s, Achin and family were working in Zambia. They were in the western provinces from the capital. At the same time, I was working in Zambia. I was a teacher, and my wife was a doctor, and Achin and Germany were also teachers. Now, even Tirumeni addressed her as Amai, and if I address her as Remini, you may wonder what is going on. Is against the tradition, protocol, and so on. But the truth is, the reason I call her Remini is, I knew them as Chamachan's wife. So later on, when we met here, he is already a priest. Then I called her Achama. She said, no, please call me Remini. Okay, her wish must be respected. Anyway, they were friends of my cousin. Nelson. He passed away this year, and we happened to meet in the capital. One time, introduced to each other, and at that time I heard Chamachan. That the term kind of stands out. Anyway, we bought a company there. They went to Nigeria and served there for a few years. I went to Nigeria with my family just for 1 year and came here, Atlanta, in '79. In '86, I got a strange call from New York. Family called me. Now, how did she get to the number? Because I happened to meet a friend of mine who served with me in Ghana earlier. His name is David. Unfortunately, he too passed away. I got the number and then called me, and then he kept on saying, in Zambia, that's all this. I did nothing, no bell is ringing in. So finally she said, Chamachan's wife. Oh, quickly, I recognized. Then we talked for some time. Then she told me they came here on a green card and they like to settle down somewhere, looking for a place. I asked about Atlanta. I said, Atlanta, we have only a few families, Indian families, but if you want to come, okay. So I invited them, they came, they saw the place, met a few people, and they liked it, they stayed and flourished, prospered well. Children are all very well educated, they are all doing good. So that is where the beginning is. In 86, that's the time we were planning to go to India. And then Achan Gayatri suggested, why not we have Kurbana where we go? Until then, we get to see a Malayalam Kurbana very rarely from some distant churches. So that was a good plan, and the first service was Kurbana was arranged in one of our relatives, Ankachayan and Laisamma's house in Decatur, and their daughter is here. So that is how it started. So after the service, Kurbana, we went to India. At the time, going to India is a big deal because it is expensive. I'm not saying it is cheap now, but it is expensive. And we had to go through Europe and so on. But by the time we came back after 4 weeks, what we found out is, after the Kurbana, the families who came together, they decided, they had a meeting, and they decided that let us have service scheduled every 2 weeks, and that is how first time in Atlanta the scheduled Kurbana started. So Achan, thank you very much for that. I can say one thing, Achan put the seed, Achan started something very beautiful and put the seed in a very fertile land, and now look at how many congregations are there. So that was a very beautiful thing, and I will take this opportunity and thank him for that. He was trying to push me out. I don't go down. Anyway, so that is how we started the services. And then, you know the story, then Joseph Achan came from Texas and joined the congregation and so on. So that is how we started here, everything. So thank you very much. And in fact, I was so happy all 3 churches consolidated together to one church. I wanted to be here for the consecration. I was invited, but unfortunately, my wife was very sick. I couldn't come. This is also an appropriate time for us to remember some of the early memories who departed from this church. I said this church, but it is still the same church now. And one of that is unfortunately, my oldest sister-in-law, my oldest brother's wife. She was relatively young, 63, but she was sick and passed away. God bless her soul. And then, little later, her oldest sister, Amni, passed away, and she was, of course, aged in sickness. And then her husband, Raju, he too passed away later on. And then her brother, Angachayan, that is where we started the service first, he too passed away. And then nearly 2 years back, 2.5 years back, my own wife passed away after bedridden for some time. Anyway, this is the time to remember them too. And then recently, Leela Sharma, who was also a regional member, passed away. So thank you for inviting me. God bless them and bless you all.
Thank you, Uncle.